busted. Hey everybody, how's it going? I've got a brand new music video reaction / review coming at you today. And this time it is for I Wish by M&D. And this group of course features Heechul from Super Junior and Jungmo from Trax. And it seems like for this group they just sort of do whatever they want, they do their own thing. And I think it's really great that they have the opportunity to do that. Heechul especially is always interesting. He definitely marches to the beat of his own drum. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they came up with this time. Let's check out the music video. Like some happy song off of some TV show. An old TV show. Very vintage sounding vocal reverb. I like the brass. 결혼까지 했는데 나는 왜 혼자인 건지 내가 눈이 조금 높은 건지 아님 인기가 없어 이런 건지 어렸을 땐 나 좋다는 사람 많았지 참 많았는데 내가 제일 잘생겼다는 우리 엄마 선의의 거짓말이었는지 요즘엔 눈을 마주치 Very old school vocal processing, just like the song itself. Definitely an old school feel. 나보다 못난 애들도 연애하는데 길거리 다니면 And awesome guitar work as usual and as expected. 나만 왜 혼자인지 뭐가 모자랐어 연애를 못할까 샤워할 때 거울을 보면 얼굴 몸매도 괜찮은데 나만 왜 혼자인지 알 수 없네 내가 눈이 조금 높은 건지 아님 인기가 없어 이런 건지 어렸을 땐 나 좋다는 사람 많았지 참 많았는데 내가 제일 잘생겼다는 우리 엄마 Definitely sort of a classic chord progression and style. A little bit predictable because you've probably heard it before. Oh my. We just abandoned the song completely. Oh! 아 망했다.
뭐 하는 거야?
딱 한 번만 해서 방금 왔거든.
나와.
야!
빨리 나와.
나보다 못난 애들도
I'm back in.
길거리 다니면 나 빼고 다 사랑하는 중 나만 왜 혼자인지
Definitely got some like product placement, I think.
샤워할 때 거울을 보면 얼굴 몸매도 괜찮은데 나만 왜 혼자인지 알 수 없네 내가 눈이 조금 높은 건지 아님 인기가 없어 이런 건지 어렸을 땐 나 좋다는 사람 많았지 참 많았는데 내가
I really like the backing band though. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's real brass, at least some of the layers. If that's a sample, that's a really good sample.
헤어스타일이 문제인가
Super tasteful guitar solo.
성격의 문제
I like it. I would have liked it to be 4 times as long though.
많아 좀 그만 보란 친구의 말 게임 좀 그만하란 동생
이제는 나도
As expected.
한 여자를 사랑하고 싶어. 하고 싶어.
Oh, it just turned into a dramatic movie. This music video is great. Just got super serious and dramatic. And they perfectly resolved that nice chord right at the end. I like that a lot. Despite usually having a huge problem with songs that stop the song in the middle for the purpose of a storyline in the music video, in this case it didn't really ruin the song for me, and that whole sort of outro different song thing and the movie music was really something I enjoyed, especially right at the end there. So that was different than anything I've really seen recently, as expected of course coming from Heechul, and I think they did a really good job changing things up a little bit. And the other thing I want to talk about before I even jump in and analyze this, because it's going to take a little bit longer, is the overall feel of the beat and the rhythm section. The first thing I thought of when I heard this sort of triplet swing feel was the Purdy Shuffle, which is something that drumming legend Bernard Purdy came up with. You can hear it on Steely Dan tracks, it's been around a really long time, and this song doesn't exactly have that beat, but when you combine the bass part, the overall feel of the drums, and the rhythm guitar, it's almost like it's sort of implied or reminiscent of the Purdy Shuffle. And the original Purdy Shuffle groove is at a slower overall tempo than this song. It's at more of a pace like... And obviously that's my crappy simplified version, but you get the idea. This song is in a much quicker tempo. It's more like 1, 2, 3, 4. But the thing that's sort of implied about the beat that's making me think of the Bernard Purdy Shuffle is that between the bass part and the guitar rhythm parts, you almost have that from this song turn into a more Purdy Shuffle like. And the overall groove and feel of it just reminds me of that. The other famous song that uses that beat and overall feel is Rosanna by Toto, and Jeff Porcaro actually borrowed that beat from Bernard Purdy, but it was at a much faster tempo and he added some other emphasis to the groove. So Rosanna was at a much faster tempo. It was more like 1, 2, 3. And again, that's my hugely simplified version of that classic beat, but you get the idea. And even though the drums aren't exactly that beat, that's what this song reminds me of a lot more than just a regular triplet feel swung beat. So that's definitely some really cool songwriting going on, and let's jump back in and analyze the rest of the track. I really like the clean sound. It's definitely kind of dated. Got the kind of walking bass line, piano, keeping the rhythm. Got the brass parts. Just a really clean sound, I like it. But it's definitely kind of vintagey. You'll hear the very heavy, sort of like mono sounding reverb behind his voice on the leads. Again, that's a very vintagey, kind of dated technique that sort of sets the song in a certain sonic time period. And of course the whole arrangement also suits that style. It's meant to sound like an old TV show, like montage type song. You know, like when all the characters are running around and they're all happy, this might be playing. And that's definitely what they were going for. Hear how right here with the beat, it starts like almost sneaking into the Purdy Shuffle feel. Not quite. Really great bass player too, by the way.
나보다 못난 애들도 연애하는데
I like all those sort of stop time stabs with the backing band. It's really effective. It changes up the second verse, differentiates it from the first verse, adds interest.
내 혼자인지 뭐가 모자랐어 연애 못할까 샤워할 때
As much as I really like the tasteful playing in the guitar part, I would have liked there to be more of it.
잔지할 수 없네
Especially when you got Jungmo on hand. He played perfectly in the style of this type of song, which is Stay Out of the Way. But when you have somebody like him on guitar, I would have liked to hear him even more.
잘생겼단 우리 엄마
Even if it was a little bit over the top for this style of song.
요즘에 눈을
But being the great musician that he is, he matched his playing to the style of the song to serve the song's purpose, which is really great. I just would have liked to hear more guitar parts from him. This part was ridiculous and awesome.
뭐 하는 거야?
딱 한 번만 했어. 방금 왔거든.
나와.
Busted.
나보다 못난 애들도
Now the brass is kind of sounding like samples to me. There's a couple moments where I thought it was real, but second time around, I've listened to it like 4 times now. It's definitely sounding more fake. Still really effective, but definitely sounds like a sample to me.
거울을 보면 얼굴 몸매도 괜찮은데 나만 왜 혼자인지 알 수 없네 내가 눈이 조금 높은 건지 아님 인기가
Right here, hear how the beat kind of like
어렸을
sounds like the Purdy Shuffle. If you don't know what the Purdy Shuffle is, just search it on YouTube. There will be tons of people playing it. Definitely sounds a lot like the feel of this song.
거짓말이었는지 요즘에 눈을 마주치지도 않으시네 헤어스타일이 문제인가
And an ultra tasteful guitar solo, followed by some really cool like Leslie speaker effects. Definitely an interesting amp choice for that type of sort of bluesy, clean kind of sound solo. I'm not sure if he actually used a Mesa amp. It may just be a stage prop. But if he did use it, that's a very interesting choice to get that kind of sound. But it came off really well in the recording.
하고 싶어
See, and then here, the brass really sounds almost like a real horn section, and then like one thing gives it away and it sounds like a sample. It really sounds like the Native Instruments brass sample pack. I forget what it's called. It's like a horn section pack. A couple little articulations in there gave it away. I like this sort of second song here on the end. Super dramatic. Really warm sounds. Cool chord progression. And then a very pleasant sounding way that they resolved those chords. I really liked it overall. The song was definitely not your regular or average K-pop release. It was more of a period piece, but with pretty modern production, except the vocals. The vocal production actually sounded very dated with the effects they used, and I'm sure that was on purpose because they wanted it to sound that way. But again, that's not something that's super common in K-pop. Even the groups that do like retro concepts usually are using very thoroughly modern vocal production techniques and vocal effect sounds to go along with it. So very interesting to hear him do this. I think they pulled it off really well, and it's nice to have even more variety within K-pop. So I think it was a job well done. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction/review. Please like, comment, and subscribe. If you could share this video all over the place, Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, on forums, all that stuff really helps us out. And I'll see you guys next time.